Good morning. It is day 5 and I am in Skagway. Gotta admit, the initial impression, I'm liking Skagway. What a beautiful setting this is in. Now, of course, I'm not talking about the shipyard over there. I'm talking about these mountains. Wow. Okay, so it is super cold. It's like 48 degrees right now. I have spent a lovely morning on the ship. They docked at like 7 a.m. super early. Now I am going into the cute little downtown area. It's really small. I have a noon railway ticket to go to the White Pass, which is, you know, the big thing to do here. Super windy day, you can see by those trees. And let's go explore Skagway. This town is so cute. What a lovely little town that is up there. Welcome to Skagway. Let's get a picture of this. Just picked up my tickets for the 12 o'clock, and this is Skagway, 1900 building. This is the smart bus that picks up out at the cruise ships and shuttles people around. I do believe it's free, but don't quote me on that. Oh, there is the visitor center for the Klondike Goldrush National Historical Park. You know I have to go in. So this is the vault. They would keep all the gold in here. I love it. So here is the museum. Look at this trail of people. And this is how steep that trail was. And they had to take everything on their backs. Can you imagine? Wow. That's just crazy. Also gold. Back on the streets, there is the famous Red Onion Saloon. I don't know what that building is. Camp Skagway, 1899. That is unusual. Well, this is how cute it is. A little boardwalk. Can't believe it's not raining. Happy it's not raining. Anyway, what a delightful setting. I almost wish I was coming here with my RV, but you know, I don't really need to. Here, there's a better shot of that really strange building. Okay, I was wrong. It is not free. It is $3 and $5 shipped to town. What do we see on this cute little side street? Glacial Coffee House and Russian Tailor's Quilt, Alaska. I'm going in to pay homage to my mother, who came on this cruise years and years ago with my dad. And I didn't get to come with them at the time, but I'll bet she came in here. So I just bought a yard of this exquisite material. Look how interesting these patterns are. I just love it. And just to show you what they did with it, they made a runner out of it, which I just love, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So we'll wait till we get home for that one. But what an extraordinary store. This is the Klondike Doughboy, and look, at that. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Wow, one of those is $7. If you are in the mode, there you go. Look at this setting. Yeah, that's what Skagway reminds me of, is Ray in Colorado, because of the setting. It is just absolutely charming here. Absolutely charming. Just in case you need a fur bikini, furkinis is what they're called, or a fur Speedo. That's awesome. Well, I just spent the last hour at that rock shop and then walking down to the library for their Wi-Fi so that all the snaps I sent to Josie to see which rocks she liked. Anyway, she finally decided on one. And it was delightful anyway because I got to know those owners really well. Got a lot of snaps of all the rocks and no video at all. Doesn't even matter. Anyway, just gonna walk the rest of this before my train ride in about 35 minutes. There's a cute shop. Lots of little funsy things. I do not really shop for tchotchkes anymore. Although I will admit I have an ulu, and these are gorgeous. Mine is very much a tourist one, but if I do get one, I'll get one when I come back with my RV. So, it's beautiful here.
I'm here to collect your tickets.
If we do catch you smoking, we will assume you have.
As fun as it is to be out there on the platform, it was wicked cold. So back inside we come, and the view is just as nice, just through the pane of glass. This is Bridalveil Falls.
Approaching mile marker 14, Glacier Station. Here we will be making our largest horseshoe curve, passing over the headwaters of the Skagway River and beginning our... We are now coming up to mile marker 16, Tunnel Mountain. We will be passing over the famous wooden trestle bridge that was built back in the 1890s and has been rebuilt and maintained ever since.
There's the wooden bridge. Right after it is Tunnel Mountain, pure blackness. If I was further back, you'd be able to see that, but holy smokes. Here's the last of the train. Ooh. Oh, that's dark. I got dark.
You agree, folks? Inspiration point over your left shoulder.
is what we're going across instead.
Emerge from the tunnel. If you look sharply down on your left, you will see a sign that reads Trail of 98. This marks the closest the train gets to the original trail that was used during the Klondike Gold Rush.
This is an incredibly visceral understanding of the gold rush and what it would have been like. The horrors that they endured. I mean, I've read about it in Jack London's books, but wow, it's very different being here. Very harsh conditions. Border Patrol. This is the summit. Highest point in the White Pass Trail and train, of course. It goes on further, not this train, but the White Pass. In fact, it is how I would have come in with my RV. We just make a loop and then go back down the way we came. God, this is a beautiful mountain range. Thus ends my White Pass Yukon route train ride. I'm saying goodbye to Skagway as I race back to the Norwegian sun to take my next shore excursion, which is driving this exact same route. But I wanted to drive it because it would have been the route I took with my RV, and I kind of wanted to get a feel for it. Although I'm very tired that train ride. I don't know why. It just wore me out. Anyway, now it's the quick walk back to the ship.
And Norwegian,
Well,
Celebrity, and
here I
Caribbean.
am on
That's on the smaller one.
bus. It is a very small bus.
So we get 'em
there
all.
are only 13 people.
Test. All right.
And we are finally
Now we're
on
ready
our
to
way
go.
up to the summit.
Thanks
It's
for your
only
patience,
about
folks.
40 miles, 90-mile round trip.
Yeah, I was wondering
But
the
we
other
did
day
need
why
our
all these people are
passports
standing
for
by
it.
the restroom. Now I know why, because
here
there's
we go.
Wi-Fi right there. It's the only 2 blocks, like we said, 22 blocks this way, 4 blocks this way. I like to point out the locally owned businesses. The most important one is that second one right there where that lady's taking the picture. Yeah. Open year-round to serve us well. On the left, the Red Onion Saloon dates back to 1898, classic saloon and brothel. Today, of course, it's just a brothel. On the right, Richter's 1910, local. On the left, this is our visitor center, 1899 original building, 10,000 pieces of driftwood, amazing building. Now, there's a ton of jewelry stores. We all know about that. This is the real deal. Taya River, locally owned, that's the kind of ones you want to go to. Skagway News Depot, our little newspaper, comes out twice a month. All the news that's fit to print, as they say. And our favorite thing to read here, of course, being such a small little town like this, the police blotter. Let's just know what our neighbors have been up to, just like any small town. It's the first thing we open up to. It's like, who did what last weekend? On the right, the hardware store, a classic American hardware store. This is a staple in Skagway. 95% of all these businesses close the day the cruise ships leave, and so they stay open year-round. We love them. Christmas store on the left over here. Get yourself an ornament from there. Because every Christmas, when you put up your tree, you're going to remember your cruise to Alaska and your day here in Skagway. It's a good way to mark your cruise. Cone Company, good day for ice cream. They usually have a line out the door, a little chilly today. Clothes Rush, local. People always ask us, which are the local stores? Oh, I think you can tell. If the guy's wearing a tie, guess what? Not a local store. Oldest building in town, dates back to 1887. Captain William Moore, our founding father, in the back by the fence around it. That's our first structure here, 1887. We're going to talk about him in just a bit. On the right, the Days of 98 show. Soapy Smith, our legendary villain, has been shot in here 4 times a day for 100 years. This is their 101st season for that show. Amazing. On the left over here is our bank. Next to it is the post office. This would be the financial district of Skagway right there. And Skagway Outlet Store on the right is also locally owned. Want to get some Alaska stuff at a good price from a local guy, local. The oldest stone or granite building in the whole state of Alaska is that beautiful building there. Early 1900s, that was the McCabe Women's College. Today, City of Skagway Museum and City Hall. Best show in town, City Hall meetings here in Skagway. And that is downtown Skagway in a record 2.5 minutes. Well, is what to do with Black Lake. So we have this lake here called Black Lake. It's black because of all the algae and whatnot. Decided to split it in 2. I had a lady from Norman, Oklahoma, bless her heart, a few years back. She said, Paul, is that black from that oil spill? And I knew where that was going. So as gently as I could, I said, no, ma'am, that's actually 900 miles north in Valdez, Alaska, and in 1988. But good question. Now, we get a lot of those kind of questions here. We got a section in our newspaper reserved for such questions.
It's our first stop, and we are looking at Pitchfork Falls. That is on up the mountain. Second stop of the day. This is a shot of the Sawtooth Mountains, as you can see. They're pretty sawtoothy, aren't they? There's also a fault line here. And right over here is a bridge that was built on the fault line. That's pretty funny. This little bus makes me entirely happy. And it is right in front of Welcome to Alaska. Welcome to Alaska. I love this. Whew. Now I don't have to stop on my RV trip. Oh my gosh. All right, we're walking all the way up to that other sign. Well, I don't know that this was running over to. It's the Kiwanis statue. Holy crap. It is. Woo, down in the 30s right now. Anyway, this is what we do on this Scenic Summit Drive. We drive up to the summit, which was like 3,900 feet. Bridalveil Falls. That's pretty nice. Whew. It's warmer than it was up at the summit. And that's the road. It's a blind curve. Well, that was a fun little 2-hour trip. And now I am headed back towards the ship because this wind, man, it is brutal. It is pretty dang cold today. It was fun. Scenic Summit Drive. I went because one, I had a $50 credit, and that's what that tour cost. And I wanted to see what the drive would have been like with the RV, and it is a really steep little hill coming down into it. I don't know that I'm going to come back to Skagway with my RV. That's 200 miles out of my way, and that's a lot of gas. Skagway's lovely, though. Highly recommend it. This is us leaving Skagway and heading back out. I don't think this video is going to adequately explain how stunningly beautiful this is.